Taoiseach Curran Fáilte wrote the Rashkadi and Seanad, Taoiseach and Gutchukatu Rash Gaminik Teration Law Shaw. I know you're never one, Taoiseach, to engage in bombastic triumphalism. You certainly won't get that from this side of the House. But I think what this is about, and I do welcome your open remarks here this afternoon, as about the potential of the reform of a House that apparently 3-4 weeks ago was unreformable, in your own opinion. I do think, Taoiseach, I would like to make a couple of comments, just briefly, with regard to the campaign itself. And yes, the people rejected your proposal. And Paddy does like to know the story, to use your own phrase. And Paddy knew the story and saw through some of the very cynical and dishonest methods that were used, particularly by your own party in this campaign. Now, I'm not going to dwell on it, but just to mention that out of that comes a situation whereby, in future referenda that you intend to hold, I would simply ask you to ensure that those campaigns are honest and based on fact. And I would ask you, by way of reform, to look at the powers that both the Referendum Commission and the Standards and Public Office Commission actually have, but particularly the Referendum Commission, that should campaigning and postering be patently incorrect, such as the €20 million saving that Richard Bruton and others kept talking about and was proven to be incorrect, that the Referendum Commission had no role and no way in actually asking a party, any party that is, in future referendums, to remove incorrect information. And I would ask you to look at that, please. That's all I'll say in the campaign itself, because that is done. And you will find partners in Fianna Fáil here, and through myself, to assist in the reform of this House. I was glad you mentioned that you're talking about the reform of the Oireachtas and the reform of the Dáil, because we've been treated, and the Seanad as an institution, as nearly like the sick man of the Oireachtas, when it is patently obvious to those of us who've served in both houses and who watch politics that there are major deficiencies in the political process over successive governments, and I don't lay the blame at your door on that. Can I say to you, by way of reform as well, that we'll engage in a real reform process, but a reform process that is more than what has happened in Dáil Éireann. Like last Thursday, Taoiseach, your government allowed 50 minutes to discuss Dáil reform, that there were 5 minutes per speaker. Your own government backbenchers were excluded from it. If we really want reform and we want to find the best ideas about how to run our Parliament, we need to be more inclusive than that, Taoiseach, I will put to you. And being more inclusive is not coming forward with supposed reform in the Dáil that is not allowed to be debated, that my own party got 10 minutes to discuss that. Reform is not, by the way, either about publishing a social welfare bill that will affect hundreds of thousands of people in this country, publishing it yesterday evening and having it debated in the Dáil tomorrow and Friday, and then guillotining the debate. Like, people really want to see an Oireachtas that works. How is an Oireachtas that works allow a situation whereby the primary chamber for debate, Dáil Éireann, is closed down after 2 days of debate on a social welfare bill? I am glad to tell you, Taoiseach, that in the Seanad, that there will be no guillotine on the social welfare debate, and that this bill will come in on the 5th of November to debate that bill in full. And that's the way it should be. And I think we can really play a positive role in that, and we have done. And that's, I think, what irked quite a number of people, was that effectively we've been sitting around doing nothing for 2.5 years, and that's not true. But what I
have 1 minute.
That's fine. What I would put to you, Taoiseach, is there are areas, and I'm glad that you're going to set up a process whereby we can look at this: EU scrutiny, EU directives, and statutory instruments. Hundreds upon hundreds of pieces of legislation become law in this country without any debate. This chamber can do that work for you here. I would ask you as well to allow additional time in this House for private members' bills from individual senators to be published and to be debated. We've 12 bills ready. It'll take me 2 years to get those bills through here because of the allocation of time. That's something we can do. I would look at things like the relaxation of the whip system. Certainly that as well. And I'll conclude on this, Cahirley, just to say that in relation to how the Seanad is elected, who elects the Seanad, that is a massive area that needs to be looked at. a massive area. It's not something that will be decided today, but you will find partners in me and in my colleagues in Fianna Fáil in moving forward with real reform. And I welcome that. And I very much welcome you here today again, Taoiseach. And I hope that we will see you here, as I said at the start, more regularly from now on. Thank you.